So we have a question Francesca asked in the chat. You expressed some skepticism about the sale of real estate in the metaverse. Can you elaborate on that? I have my own reasons for skepticism, but Jack, I'll let you take this first.
I just think real estate is very different when I can press a button and transport to somewhere else in the world. And that's possible in the metaverse. It's not possible in the physical world. And so I think if you speculate on real estate because it's close to something else that you think is going to be popular in the metaverse, you're kind of missing the fact that, you know, there's not that much benefit to someone being walking distance from your storefront because they're closer than walking distance to every storefront in the metaverse. So I just don't think it's very, I can imagine on a small scale having digital properties inside of like very popular locations in the metaverse having value for sure. But I don't think that there's going to be this like massive land grab where there's all kinds of, you know, billion-dollar properties within the metaverse the way that some people maybe are expecting or are acting as if that's going to be the case.
And does this apply for metaverse yachts or just for real estate?
I think that the way you demonstrate your wealth inside the metaverse is going to look very different. So anyone can have a yacht in the metaverse.
Yeah.
So the question is going to be, how do you have a yacht that's way more awesome than everybody else's yacht? And what does that look like?
So a conversation that all of us, Jack, Dave, myself, and Mike on the call had with the founder of Transmira was just on how the laws developed around having potentially multiple metaverse properties in a specific physical location. So let's say, you know, you own Madison Square Garden. Do you have the rights in kind of like a metaverse in 10 or 20 years to all digital property built there? Can anyone build something there? Can there just be one person that built something there? I think a lot of the value of, you know, potential real estate really depends on really how laws and regulations play out in the real world. And of course, I think we'll see a lot of different trials and tribulations in the metaverse before actual governments get involved, and that will probably inform policy. But I think policy will play a pretty big role in the value of real estate and to what degree you can replicate certain types of real estate and to what degree you can not for others. In general, I think bets like that from the investment standpoint don't seem to make a lot of sense. If you're really bullish on a specific type of metaverse, there's usually like a more clear way of expressing that. So, you know, we're seeing people buying, you know, 6-7 figure yachts and land and buildings in various metaverses. I think Sandbox has a lot of it, Decentraland. But, you know, if you just kind of bet on their tokens, the equities, the companies, I imagine the risk reward would be much better for that. And we see that similarly in crypto, where a lot of people like, okay, here's the way that I invest in the real world. And now how do I apply that in crypto? And as a result, those ways are extremely crowded by investors that are looking for similar ways to things that they know. And as a result, paying really high prices for things that are generally, I think, just poorly levered bets on these tokens going up. So you see a similar thing with like exchanges, with prime brokers, with miners. There's very, very few examples of those companies where if you just bought like a BTC or ETH at the time, that wouldn't have outperformed over a period of many years. There's like a small number of exceptions. I think this is kind of a similar example of that.